Welcome to Bar Napkin Business. You are at episode number 2, and we are talking today about wax buffalo. Welcome to Bar Napkin Business. I'm Alicia Reisinger.
I'm Matt Taylor.
And today we are talking to the owner of Wax Buffalo, and these are the candles that she produces. Matt, it sounds like you have a couple of these in your bathroom.
All over the house. Bathroom, TV room, kitchen, living room. We have 40 of these around the house, I bet.
Awesome. So Alicia, she'll be with us in just a second. She has all these different candles here, and she started in her kitchen and now is producing them at, 30 plus stores nationwide? So
yeah, coast to coast. She sells them online. She sells them in boutique stores. She sells them in Yonkers. Whole Foods. She's all over the place. So it's a fun story that she has of where she was and where she is now. And that's really what this is about.
Absolutely.
Bar Napkin Business is the people that are wanting to start a business or have started it and they're running for a little while. Mm-hmm. And when do we change gears? And the different things that happen when you grow, and the different problems that arise with sales. And so it's fun to hear her story and talk through it with her.
Yeah, I think the thing that I like the most about her story is that she realized that at one point she had to stop producing the things herself and really hire someone to help her. So that's tough, but I'm just going to sit these here because they all smell amazing.
My favorite thing is the story. She by nature is a storyteller, and you can tell right off the bat. But I know her husband John and her well, and they have tons of buts. Why it wouldn't work, why it shouldn't work. Mm-hmm. And they have a family. They have all these reasons why a lot of people say, I can't start a business now. I have a family, I have a mortgage, and I have all these reasons why I can't.
Right.
And she did it, and she's being forced to grow because the customers like it, and she's getting reorders. And now she's built a baseline of business, when she gets her first step in these doors, and then they reorder, and then she gets new accounts, and it's just growing kind of organically.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it's forcing her to make decisions. And that's fun for me to watch. I think this is the funnest stage in a business, when you're forced to grow into it, and sometimes you didn't think it was going to be what it was, and it just naturally does it.
Take a look at this interview. I think you're going to enjoy it with Alicia, and we'll be back after the interview with some giveaways.
Today on the show, we have Alicia Reisinger, the owner of Wax Buffalo Candles. She does candles, roll-ons, diffusers.
Yeah, anything that smells delicious and you can put in your home. Awesome. We do that.
So we got these. Mm-hmm. So this is your traditional candle.
It is, yeah. That's kind of our classic look, the classic X. It's kind of a throwback to like the apothecary, amber jars. And before we did Wax Buffalo, we were doing a lot of traveling, doing some production and stuff, and I was in Scandinavia, and I really loved like the Swiss cross. And so this is a little bit of a play on that. I just really loved kind of that look, and it's fresh and clean and modern. And
yeah, definitely. Yeah. Oh my God, this is a glitter throwback. Looks like this would fit really nicely in your bedroom.
It's very matte. I thought of him as I was pouring that.
We were talking a little bit off camera about originally you were putting the glitter in the candles.
Yeah, so I started pouring candles when I was like 15 years old, and I was a little kiddo for all my friends. And when you're 15, glitter. Okay, I still really like glitter. And so I used to add glitter to the candles, but that's not super natural. So now we just put it on the outside. And
you're all natural now.
I'm all natural.
Yeah. Okay.
Glitter candle.
Yeah.
Well, let's get a little background on you, Alicia. Tell us some of your story.
So like I said, I used to make candles, and I used to do it with my grandma. So she lived here in Lincoln, Nebraska, and I grew up in Kansas City. And we actually used to hang out in the Haymarket, and there was like a little shop down here that had these hand-poured candles and bears. It was very odd, but we loved it. And so I learned how to make candles as a first like Christmas gift for my grandma. And then I used to make them for my friends. And right before I started Wax Buffalo, we had moved here several years before, for a job, and my grandma was in like her third bout of breast cancer, and so we moved in with her. Yeah. No, I didn't have a family at this time. Okay. We were like straight out of college. We came from Chicago, actually.
You and John.
My husband John and I. Okay. We were just married, and we were living in Chicago, and we were in a funny place. We were both doing like all these side hustles and all these jobs, and we were living in Chicago, and we'd been married about 3 months, and just we couldn't make rent in Chicago anymore, even with our like 7 jobs between the two of us. So we decided to sublet our house and just like go nomad for a while.
Oh my
And it sounded really sexy in the beginning, and then we were like, what are we doing?
So what year was
How
this?
old are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were like 25. So we would sleep on our friends' couches. Sometimes John had this old crappy
That was
Jeep,
cool though.
and we
Crowd
would.
surfing was cool.
It was.
for a while.
Yeah. And in a lot of ways, like, I know this sounds like silly, but we became so close with our friends because you're like in their space and you're cooking dinner together, and then you like peace out a couple weeks later and go hit somebody else's house. And we gravitated more towards like our clean friends. That's where we would come back. We'd like to come back to your couch. And so we were just in this crossroads, and we were like,
Sometimes crashing in the car.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, he had this old crappy Jeep, and sometimes we would just like pull it into a side
And sometimes,
street.
what do you mean by sometimes?
Yeah.
How often do you think that is?
I would say like 40% of the time we crashed somewhere weird, like in his car, or yeah, it was dumb.
So homeless, right?
Yeah.
Like essentially.
We would wake up and there'd be like a cop like going ping, 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 ping. You're in a school zone.
Oh, so they would just tell you
Okay.
to move. That's it.
Yeah,
Okay.
we go in
So
it's
tips.
Chicago.
So don't have anything. You don't. In most possessions, you have a Jeep
we
and.
got rid of everything. We had like 2 or 3 suitcases between us, and it was fun and it was crazy. But then I think after doing that for almost 8 or 9 months, we were like, we gotta figure something out. So we like made a list of all the places we'd like to move or go and try for a year, and then we were gonna go back to Chicago after that. So it was like, let's just go adventure for a while. Well, at that point, my grandma, it hit her 3rd bout of breast cancer, and we were actually like, you know what? Let's just go to Nebraska.
Yep.
And so we lived with her for just like 2 or 3 months, as she had been cared for in the hospital. My aunt took really good care of her, but we got to kind of like be there and be like, well, we'll clean your gutters and make you dinner and stuff. And it was awesome. So fast forward quite a bit later, about 5 years later, right before I started Wax Buffalo, we lost her. And she was awesome and feisty and like taught me how to be like a modern woman. Like she was like a feminist before anyone, I think.
Cool.
And so I think I just missed her. I was sad. We're very close. We always had been. And so I started kind of pouring candles again, just to get out of my own head. And I started researching a lot about, the candles that I was making when I was 15 were really not super healthy.
What do you mean by that? Like,
Well,
why is that?
if you do a little of the Googles, paraffin wax is actually really crummy.
Okay.
It's a petroleum-based product, and so if you go even, so if you go even deeper, it's actually made out of like the crud at the bottom of like a petroleum drum.
Okay.
There's like this thick gunk that happens after they get all the oil off. There's kind of like a residue. Well, they scrape it, bleach it, and make paraffin out of it. And that's what you're burning in your house. And so a lot of times, if you are someone that burns a candle and gets a headache, or it can give you like stomach aches, you just don't feel good around candles, it's probably that.
Okay.
And then another way to make wicks like really cheap is to like put a zinc core. So you're actually kind of burning a metal in your home as well. That's what gives you that soot. And so I wanted to make something that was not like that. So I did a lot of research, and all of our candles are made with pure soy. It's all American made, and they're vegan. And then our wicks are all cotton core wicks. So they burn really clean. You're not gonna see soot on your walls. And then all of our oils are really, really high end. So either essential or fine fragrance oils that are completely phthalate free.
Okay.
So yeah.
So let's talk about you making the first couple. Where'd you sell them? What was the progression?
Yeah, so I just started making them at our house because, it just felt good to like make my own thing. A lot of the stuff that I do, I do recruitment and I also do production, and I feel like in those genres, nothing is ever finished. You're always like either in a project or about to start another project, and they all kind of mush together. Where this was something that I could be like, there, I poured a candle and it's done and it's beautiful, and that feels really good. And so I was just doing that for friends and for our family, and
You're giving them away, or you're selling them?
I was just giving them away.
Like how many were you in a month? Like what's like a batch look like?
Yeah, so I would like get my little box of 12 jars, and at the time it was literally like pickle jars and jelly jars. It was just like junk I had around. I would go to the thrift store and get these nasty, and I was like, oh, I was a total candle lady. I was like embarrassing. Oh, this mug has a cat on it. You know who would like that? Like, oh my gosh, my poor friends were probably like, hey.
You should have like the original like hipster line of candles.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
So a friend of mine was like, you should try selling these. And at the time, there was this really cute little shop called the Pilgrimer here, and it was all about kind of local makers, local coffee, all that stuff. And so I was like, nope, I do not want to feel that rejection. I don't want, like, if I give you a candle and you throw it away, I don't know. But if I was to like put myself out there, that felt so scary. And so I said no like 9 times. Then finally, I'm like, fine, I will try.
Did they keep asking you?
He was encouraging. It was like he and his wife. Our friends here in town, and they were like, just try it. What do you got to lose? And so I was like, okay. So I poured 12 candles. I put 100 whole dollars into my new business. I poured 12 candles. Yeah. And they were, at that time, they were the amber jar, but they were all different. Like I couldn't quite figure out my branding. So I had gold lids and silver lids and white lids, and I had crosses on some and X's on some, and some had nothing. And I just took them in and left them at the shop. And like 5 days later, they were like, well, they're all sold. Could we have some more? What? So they gave me my little money, and I went and ordered more jars and did it again, and then that's how it started. That's how Wax Bubble started.
And how long ago was that?
So we've been in business like 2.5 years from that moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was that the moment that you felt like you had a business?
No. It was more just like, hey, this is cool that people like it, and then it was like, it really did work to kind of get me out of my head with my grandma, because I would go to sleep thinking about like, what if I mixed this and this, and then it would be terrible, and let's try that again. And it was really like kind of a fun, inspiring, creative project, and I fell into it, and it was good. It was a good place.
So was there a moment where you felt like, oh man, this is a business, or has that happened yet, or where you at?
You know, I think there's this really rad store called Hutch Martin up in Omaha, and at a Christmas show, they came, and they're like 2 of the coolest guys I know. And they took a look at my candles, and they were like, we would like to put these in our store. And I was like, oh, okay, neat, you know? And so I think they ordered like 100 candles, which at the time I was like, oh my gosh, you know, it took me like a week and a half to do it, whereas now we can like pour 100 candles in a day. And I took them up and walked into their store, and it was gorgeous. Their store is gorgeous. And I think that was the moment that I was like, oh, this is real, because they didn't know me. They chose my product, and they chose to take a risk and put it in their store. That was huge. And so I think that was probably the moment that I was like, oh, this is something.
So like someone outside of your friends and family network was like, you have a product that I'm looking for.
Yes. It wasn't like my best friend coming and buying my candle, you know. And
so where are they now? You're in a couple of big box stores that we would know.
Right.
Yes. So we're in a lot of boutiques kind of across the country, coast to coast, which is exciting. So all the way like New York to California. We're in Phoenix and Dallas and Oklahoma, which is rad. And we're in Yonkers. That's like our biggest one. That was the first time I had to do like little SKUs and actually have like numbers for everything. So that was a learning curve. And so we're in about 35 stores across the U.S.
So talk to me about Yonkers. What's the difference between going boutique to actual big box store?
So that's a good question, because I would say like, boutique is really relational. A lot of times I get my orders through Instagram, or like I'll get a text message like, hey, we'd like to put in this order and here's what we want. And I, take it to the studio and open up my phone and put everything in. Where with Yonkers, it's very thought out and very precise, and everything has a number. And, I usually drop off at every boutique or someone from Waxy Bee does, and it's hugs and hi, how are you? And it's super fun and relational. And I told Yonkers I was going to drop their candles off, and they were like, well, what? No, just ship them. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm literally 2 blocks away. I'll save you money. I'll just bring them. And it was super weird for them. But it was like, I was like, no, I'm doing it my way. I'm bringing it in, and we're gonna hug, and then we'll move from there. But they've been wonderful, because they really taught me in a very kind way, like, this is what a big box store looks like. This will be the process, and I got to ask all my dumb questions, and they were super kind, and so then I'll be ready for like when Nordstrom calls, I can be like, oh yeah, I know how to do that.
Yeah. You have your fancy pants on now.
That's right.
Speaking of fancy pants, when we talked a month or so ago, there's like a Hollywood story or something behind this too, isn't there?
Are you talking about Avi? Yes. Okay. So there's a little Hollywood. It's really like, it's such a funny thing to me, because I have a couple girls that help pour, and they've saved my life this year. And she had a connection. Someone was sent our candles as a gift, and he contacted me and was like, these are amazing.
Oh, wow.
I'd like to send them to Beyonce, and I want to send them to Whitney Houston's, I think it's like his cousin.
Was this an email?
And Zac Efron.
You're like, Spam.
It was yes. I was like, this is fake sauce. But because my girl Sydney knew him personally, or knew someone that knew him personally, I was like, okay, let's try it. So we did. We sent candles to Beyonce. I'd like to think like there's one of these just in her bathroom somewhere. You know, like you never know.
You're waiting for the day
Yeah.
it's tagged on Instagram.
I know I've been watching
and
like
you're
Zac Efron's Insta, and I'm like, well, he's not burning my candle today, but I'm waiting. So who knows? But I do feel like all those little things. Were little enough that like right now, you know, it cost me a candle, it cost me 3 candles. I'm just gonna take all these dumb risks. And I don't really do much traditional marketing, but I do a lot of those kind of goofy things where it's like, I don't know, I'd like to see, who
guess
knows?
what?
But I think that's a lot better.
Beyonce does one picture with your candle and is like, love my new wax buffalo candle.
Right.
Can you imagine?
You're hiring
Yeah.
tomorrow, right? Like you're hiring
right.
tomorrow.
You're secretly sending her a candle a day until
Yes.
she posts it.
I need to go back and find that address. Oh, here's another candle for you, Queen
Okay,
Bee.
so let's talk about the stage you're at now. You just recently made a move from pouring out of your kitchen and have the kids climb all over the boxes of wax and that stuff to a spot. So talk about that transition and what it's good, bad.
Yeah, so we are in kind of a fun transition. We are kind of in like a very fun transition right now. I have 3 kids. I have a 5-year-old, a 4-year-old, and then a 5-month-year-old. And so I knew, you know,
And
we've
another
been.
job.
Oh yeah, I also work another job.
Yep.
I work as a recruiter for a marketing company here in town. Arch Rival. I'll just do a shout out because they're amazing. Love you guys.
Yeah. Slide in right here.
Right. Anyway, we were pouring out of my kitchen completely. My house was chaos. We have, you know, boxes everywhere, and I was embarrassed. Like we really love having people over, and I was like, sorry, we cannot have people over this year. It's weird. And I burned up our stove.
Because the business is growing.
Yeah, the business is growing, and so it's a good problem. So yeah, I burned up our stove. John does all the cooking in our house, and he's like my husband. He's a fabulous chef, and he can't use the oven or most of the stove anymore. And so it was time to go. And with my tiniest ox at 5 months, I know I'm in that time zone where he's going to start walking, and everything will be destroyed because everything's made of glass and it's everywhere.
Right.
So so we took the plunge, and we have a little kind of workspace now. So I'm paying rent for the first time, and it's super exciting and scary. Like just a couple days ago, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I have to make rent again in 15 days," and that's
I
new.
just paid it.
Yeah. That's what it does feel like. Seriously, that's gonna come every month, huh? But it's been awesome because I think we can really like dive in and get our inventory built up. And I feel like I have a space now where those that are helping me, they're not like in my kitchen, which was lovely, but a lot of times I would be texting them and be like, "We're all still in our underwear. Just wait in your car for a minute," you know, and that's blah. So so this is cool because they can let themselves in, they can get stuff done, and I feel like this is the step we needed to take to grow. And then we're really kind of, there's like 4 or 5 other things that I have in line that we're really looking at this year to see like, you know, I think we're, you know where you are in a small business and you're like, I either am so overwhelmed I need to shut this down, or this is my like litmus, to be like something has to change. Like that was another thing where, you know, you asked about like, when did you know you had a business? I think the reorders. When someone came back and said, I want another one, that's when it was like,
Yep, I got it.
and so I do have a product that obviously burns down and you need to replace, which that's kind of a good thing. And all of the stores are reordering. And I see, you know, people coming back to our website, ordering again and again, coming to the markets and, you know, buying 9 candles to take home. And
Talk to me about customer acquisition. How do you get new customers? Is it just that people walking in boutiques? Do you sell online too?
It's been
now you have your own shop. You have a storefront. So like
yeah. So weirdly, I would say my biggest kind of net for getting new boutiques has honestly been Instagram, which is weird.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because I ask a lot of them, how did you find
really
us?
good.
Oh, you think so?
With your background,
Thanks.
I think that being able to place products in a way that's appealing and you're telling a story, and like with your background, I think that you
that's
have
nice of you
the
to
talent
say.
in order to do that.
Thanks. I do hashtag, but honestly, you know, people do love candles and every boutique wants a candle. And so I even asked, I just got connected up with this influencer brunch in Beverly Hills. So I'm going to send like 36 candles out to all these bloggers. And I was like, how did you even find me? So I literally just hashtagged candles, and yours was the one that like stood out to me, which I was like, oh.
Yep, visuals.
So I do think the branding really helps. And so we've been really trying to set some things in place to, if that was to happen, you know, how do we jump to that next level? You know, how do we streamline?
I
So
want tactical stuff.
okay, well,
I have
for
a widget,
one,
somebody wants 1,000 people, 1,000,000 people, whatever want to buy my widget. What do I do now?
so the biggest thing for us was there was 3 things that I really wanted to dial into. One was the stickers. So on our candle, we have a sticker on the front, we have a sticker on the back that tells you the scent. We have a sticker under here that says, "Don't sue us."
Yeah. I read
and
that.
then-
I was
yeah.
like, oh, that's really
Leave us
scary.
alone. I know. I wanted to write one that was like really funny in my own, and
The legal team's
yeah,
like,
they
yeah,
were like,
that's not gonna
honestly, you
fly."
should just stick with this. Okay. And then we have like our branding on the top. So that's a lot of stickers, and honestly, it's what probably it's faster to pour a candle than it is to sticker a candle.
Yeah.
So we are getting our jars printed. The proofs actually I just wrote the guy, and they're going to be in my mailbox like on Friday. So the X will be printed. We have like this beautiful new branding on the back that tells who we are, and then there will just be one sticker on top that has the scent. Someday I'm going to change that too, but I wasn't ready to order 5,000 at once. So that's one thing, and I think that's going to just take even just like our man hours down. The second thing was just building up like a team that I could count on that were interested in a side hustle, but that did not necessarily need to depend on me for their,
Livelihood.
their livelihood. So I have this crew of like just kick-ass people that know how to pour a candle, know how to sticker a candle, know like the dream and believe in Wax Buffalo that I can call on and be like, hey, do you want to do 10 to 25 hours this week? And so when something was to jump, they're ready to jump. And we can pour at night, we can pour on the weekends, we can pour on your days off.
Yeah.
So that's number 2, and I've really built this like kind of beautiful arsenal now of these like just amazing people. And then third is fulfillment. I think one of the things that scared me is I started to lose accounts because I couldn't get them out fast enough. And when I say out, like I think that you should have a week turnaround, and I had like a 5-week turnaround on some of the wholesale
wow.
accounts.
Yeah.
And bless their hearts, they're so kind. And I'm sending so many apology notes like, I'm sorry, they're coming. There's 700 candles in the queue. Totally. Here's all the dumb reasons why your candles didn't make it on time, and I'm sorry. And I like give gifts. Here's a gift of a candle. Like, please forgive me and order again. I don't want to do that though. And so we are in conversations with a team here in town that may be able to do fulfillment for us. So I could concentrate solely on branding, marketing, and pouring with my little team, because I still do like to pour. And then take them over a pallet of 1,000 candles and be like, when someone orders, this is on you. And
I just ship them.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
I'm gonna get the quote this week for that too. So I feel like we're in process with all 3 things, getting us kind of ready for the fall, which is when life goes crazy.
Is there a number that breaks there that we won't fulfill? There's obviously it's not worth their time to do 100. Is it worth their time to do 1,000 or 10,000, or what's the number? Is 100,000? Like what's the number?
Coolest thing
Okay.
is they're new in the game. They're kind of, so I was approached by a company that's kind of looking to do fulfillment as kind of a side thing for them. They have a warehouse that they're using a certain season. So my season might kind of help fill. And so I actually asked them that same question, and they were like, at this point, let's just work it out. Let's figure it out together,
Cool. Yeah.
Which can be scary, but can also be
Right.
like maybe that is exactly who I
It's an
needed,
experiment
because
for
I
both
probably
of
could have
you.
been laughed out of any other fulfillment place. So,
Right.
and they have a heart for like we want to make sure that you feel proud of this product going out. So, they're that was something that was big to me too. So,
But
yeah.
you're not touching it anymore right before it gets to the customer, which is scary.
Right. Yes. I'm gonna be over there for a while. Like, could you turn that candle a little?
They're gonna have music
yeah.
for when you walk in. Here she comes again.
Right. I actually was like, could I just be there for a while? And they're like, I don't know. But
So Alicia, what makes you different from every other candle, right? We walk through Target and there's an entire aisle of them.
yeah, yeah.
Why is Wax Buffalo different, or what differentiates you?
So I think there's a couple things that make us different. One, we are an all natural. We're an all natural line. So you're gonna feel safe burning this in your home with your kids or your puppies or even yourself, if you are a natural conscious person. One of the tricks with soy wax is that it doesn't really burn the scent throw is not strong. And I wanted our candles to be strong. So a lot of times you'll find a soy candle, so great, it's all natural, but it doesn't smell. And okay, so then what was the point of that? So that was something that I really worked with the formulation and how I could get the strongest scent throw. Because there's a ratio of oils that you put to wax, and so I wanted to mess with it and see like how I could push it and change that with still being safe, but having a really good scent throw.
Right.
So that makes us a little different. And then I think that all of our scents come with a story. So, I talked about my grandma. Well, her name was Fern. So Red Fern is kind of a
that's
nod
cool.
to her. And Armitage Street is the street that, it's funny that we talked about this, that is where John and I were homeless. This is the loft we gave up, and then this is where we That's where we used to make out before we were married, on Armitage Street in a car. And then that's where we would sleep sometimes after we were married. So that one comes with a story. So most of them come with a little story.
It's not just like peach.
Right.
Apple.
Yes. This one smells like a pie. Like I am a storyteller, by trade, and so I wanted that to bleed into my candles. And I think
like
to
it.
some people they do not give a crap, but to some,
But if
some
I
do.
think your
And so,
target
yeah.
market of
Yeah,
people that want
yeah.
natural candles, they want a story that goes with it.
Yeah, I
This one smells
think
really
I think
good.
we all love stories, right?
What is this one?
That's
So-
blood orange.
Oh,
Pricing
yes.
wise,
Good,
how do you
right?
compare to Yankee Candle same size?
We are. I would say we're a little bit more expensive than Yankee Candle. We're definitely more expensive than Bath and Body Works, and we're more expensive than Target. But I do think that there is a movement for handmade, kind of artisanal, crafted pieces that, my hand touches this candle from beginning to end. And before I put it in your box, I'm like wiping off the drip, and I think there is something to that. I also curate a very different line than I think Bath and Body Works does, or even Yankee Candle, and it matters to me that you enjoy your candle and you like it, and that it makes it to the end, and you have a premium product. And so we are a little bit pricier, but I think in the end, you will buy one of these, you will burn it, and you will never want to go back. And that's what we hear from people, and that makes my heart kind of swell a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's how I think we're a little different.
Where did the name come from?
Wax Buffalo?
Yeah.
It's a nod to just the fact that we're from Nebraska and we love Nebraska, and we're part of the plains and the Midwest, and both I grew up in Kansas City, and then we lived in Chicago, my husband and I, and now we live here, and so we've always just been part of like that Midwest story, and also buffaloes are kick-ass. So
Talk to me about the flow of dollars on the different ways you've sold things. So
Yeah.
you sell it wholesale to shops, that then they sell it,
Yeah.
for their whatever they mark it up for. You sell it online direct to consumer.
Yeah.
And then you also sell pop-ups and now storefront. So there's
Yeah.
three kind of ways that you're selling it. Are they priced differently? What's the flow of money? How many can you turn? That kind of stuff.
Totally. I didn't really understand wholesale until I jumped into this and had some people kind of explain it all to me. So when you create a product, anything that you create, a classic wholesale price would be 50%. So when you're pricing, when I'm pricing out a candle, I have to think through, if I want to go wholesale, I need to price it at a rate that I'm still making money if I'm selling it at 50%, right?
Keystone markup. So essentially what that means
exactly.
is you make it for $3,
Right.
you sell it wholesale for $6, they sell it for $12 in their store. Is
Yep,
the
100%.
simple math, right?
Yes,
Yep.
yes. So I believe, I know that there are a lot of makers that struggle with this. Like, should we only sell, direct to consumer, or
Right.
should we just be at markets? Everything comes with a little bit of a price. If I'm selling direct to consumer off my website, I'm still eating a little bit of shipping costs because I want to make it. Candles are heavy, and so
You do for shipping?
Yeah, for
Okay.
shipping.
Yeah, that's totally.
So I eat a little bit there. So markets are my best. If you can come to a market, that's the money that I can put back in my company faster, and I
That's
can
a
make more
farmer's market
product.
or a pop-up or...
Totally.
Okay.
Yes. We have 35 wholesalers, which is awesome, and we're sending out these humongous boxes now. I'm seeing, even in our slow months, like 5 to 10 orders a week, which like back when it started, I was like, one person ordered this month, and now in our I was looking at the numbers the other day, and we sold something like 900 candles in 2 weeks before Christmas.
Wow.
Just out of like shipping and sending them out of the kitchen, and so from the first year we doubled, and then from year 2 to now here we're projecting to double again from that second
Revenue?
number. Yeah.
Cool.
So I have some big goals, and I want to just like keep moving forward. I would like to start paying myself someday. So right now it's all fun and beautiful, and I feel good on Instagram, but I would like a paycheck from it someday,
Yeah.
and so
Right.
that's probably
Yeah.
one of the goals too.
So that first $100, have you taken
Yeah.
any more dollars?
I have not.
Yep.
So John and I have been having this conversation of, what if all this money that we saved these last 4 years for our kitchen reno, I put into the business and we just see? Because I feel like someday we will be like, what if we had done that? Where would
Right.
it have gone? And so literally we have gone on like 9 dates this month, and we just toss it back and forth.
Yeah.
And we both keep saying we should do it. And then, you chicken out a little. And
You know where I stand on it.
yeah, I know. We threw you into a
75.
date
Yeah,
too, and
you
said,
said
what
just
do you
do
think?
it.
75 and regret is the
Right.
worst.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that's, what if?
Yeah.
You-
I don't want a
this
what
is it.
if,
This is
right?
it.
Right.
Yeah.
You get this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Especially since you're at
I think we're gonna
this
do it.
really good crossroads of like handmade goods
Yeah.
across the nation, and
Yeah, yeah.
now's the time.
I think so.
Yeah.
So I think, Alicia, we were talking a little bit. You have so many buts, right? So
Yeah.
many that could have been buts.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, you didn't have a ton of money behind you to start this business.
yeah,
You're a female in business. I know that is always a but, right?
yeah.
But there's no distribution. But I don't know how to do this. You have
Yeah.
so many reasons why it shouldn't work, and it's
Yeah.
just growing and growing, and you're
Yeah.
kind of like ramming your head through problems.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
that's fun to watch. I mean, that's
Well,
really
thanks.
that's the reason why we wanted you to be on this show, is because you're at a fun point in this, and
Thanks.
really for our audience, this is who we want watching it, right? Is the people that are
Right.
should I do this? I don't know. Like there's definitely a but. There's why.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I think you should. I mean, it's growing on its own,
Well,
right?
thanks.
It's pushing itself. It's showing you the direction you should go.
Right? I think so.
Yeah.
I think I do have a funny girl boss story. Is I had an account that was in Oklahoma, and I ship everything out through the postal service,
Yeah.
and they wanted me to use their account, but had never actually communicated that to me. So that's usually something that an account will say, like, "Hey, here's this
Right.
huge order. Hit us back, and we'll give you our account, and you'll
Because
ship
they get
it through."
special shipping rates.
Totally,
Right,
yeah.
right.
So they don't want to pay mine because I invoice them for that. Well, I was working with somebody in his company, and he got word, he saw the order come in and just was pissed that I had used the postal service and not hit them up. And so he called and just reamed me, and then was super mad that, it had taken.
What kind of difference are we talking?
Oh, it's probably a difference of like $100.
Uh-huh.
It's not.
What's the total? Is it 300 to 400? Is it
Yeah,
100 to
yeah,
200?
yeah. It
What's
was.
the-
I think I charged it was probably $265, and he probably could have gotten it for like $165.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And we're
Okay.
talking like 350 candles I sent down there.
Uh-huh.
So it was actually a pretty good rate. I was like, oh, this is good.
Yeah.
And I like work it sometimes where I'll ship it in 2 different boxes because it gets the rate down a little bit
Uh-huh.
for them. And anyway, I did all the things. And it was kind of that moment where I was like, this is mine. And you yelling at me, usually you'll bend over backwards, but this was one that I was like, sir, no, no, no. I
Yeah.
am not Target. Like, I am handmade. I made these in my kitchen and packaged them myself.
Uh-huh.
If you wanted something like that, call them. And it was interesting because he was like, oh, I'm sorry. No, 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 no. We want your product. It goes out of our store. It flies out. We want it. I was just wanting to talk through some stuff with you. And I was like, then talk.
Are they
Don't
around
yell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
still? Do you use their rates now? Do you use-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, next time I will call you. Yeah.
Don't talk to me
I
that
was
way,
like,
but I will
yeah.
use your rate.
Right. If
Right.
you want me around,
Uh-huh.
you have to talk to me respectfly.
Yeah.
That's kind of a cool thing to do in
Yeah.
your own business.
Okay,
I know, I
so
know.
let's get a plug in.
Mm-hmm.
Where can if somebody wants to buy these wax buffalo candles? I like
Yeah.
the rosemary mint, but my favorite was the red fern.
I don't know. I like
It
this
is
one a
such a
lot.
good
Blood
one.
orange is good.
Blood orange. Oh, thanks.
Plus it's pretty.
Where can somebody buy these?
You can get them on our website, waxbuffalo.com. If you're local, we're in several boutiques around here. So we're
Okay.
in Paper Kite and Simply Bungalow. We're at Threads and Footloose, and we're actually Open Harvest.
Really?
Tons of stores in Omaha. So if you go on our website, you can actually see every store across the United States that we're in. So if you want to buy it locally and save on shipping. Our store, we just do kind of like a shout out on Instagram when we open the doors. So that was really fun because you can come in and we have discounted candles. We have mess ups for $5. You can find things that you're not going to find in any other wholesalers. We have some like very special things in our store. So if you watch Instagram or Facebook, you'll know when those pop-ups are, and it's worth popping in. Yeah.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. Then we also have an event called Love the Locals in early June. So all of that stuff will be on our Instagram and Facebook, and then we really have markets all throughout the season, and then of course we'll like really dive into them in the fall. So everything can be found at our website if you want to come to something like that and stock up. And we always do special pricing at markets. So it's worth, coming over and giving us a big soy hug, and then you save a ton of money. Yeah.
We'll have the how-to of
It's our way
soy
to say
hugs
thank you.
later.
Yes.
All right. Well, we now have time for last call. I think we need last call.
Last call.
That's like fairly
A little more energy.
Okay, and we have this. We hope he functions okay. We have this timer that we'll see. Online purchase. Hopefully your purchases are a lot better.
He's an owl. I bought more on appearance than function.
I don't think he was
quickly found out it
handmade,
didn't
y'all.
work
I
that
know,
well.
he's so cute. He will probably
really
be
cute.
okay if we cook like a 55-minute roast. But not this. Okay, so we have quick fire questions.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's start with.
So the object of the game is to answer fast one
yes,
sentence?
Yes.
Yeah.
One word? Okay.
What do
Or,
you?
yeah, just quick sentence.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. No rambling.
Okay.
What do you do on your day off?
Hang out with my children. I'm not that cool.
What makes you weird?
I don't. I drink a lot of beverages and I like set them all around the house. So I like to have 9 to 10 beverages going at all times, hot and cold.
Do your kids do that too?
Yeah, my poor husband.
There's like 27 cups throughout the house.
We do a lot of dishwasher washing.
Nice. What is your favorite scent of all of the ones that you have?
Probably Armitage Street. It was the first one I ever did, and I think it has the best story.
I do like the story, and the scent's good too.
Thank you.
Who is your celebrity crush?
Zac Efron. That's why I sent him the candles. Obvi and The Rock, but I don't have his address yet.
Okay, which scent would we need for The Rock?
Probably Red Fern. Don't you think Red Fern's
Okay, I
like
think
The
you'd be on
Rock?
that, yes.
But it wouldn't it be great if it was Armitage Street?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I just love this blackberry vanilla. Thank you, The Rock.
We can Photoshop him into this episode, like right here.
Oh, I love him so much.
I like The Rock also.
Such a crush on him.
He's so fun. What's up? I can just see his muscles bulging as he holds his candle.
Right?
Yes.
I think he'd love that.
Okay. If you have 2 more children, what are their names? Oh, we're out of questions. Okay, then I'm gonna scrap that one. What's your hidden talent?
My hidden talent, I can do the preamble on cue. Like, we, the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility. I won't do it all.
Okay,
because
we're out of
that's not rapid
time.
fire.
I want to know the kids. That was the one we missed.
What would be the
more
next
kids.
names?
Yeah, so it's Satchel, Navy.
Navy,
Oxy.
Satchel, Ox. We'd probably go with Fern for Grandma.
Cool.
And honestly, Armitage used to be one of our kid names.
Okay.
But now we're not sure because I named a candle after it.
Yeah. Candles and kids' names don't cross.
Right?
evidently.
I'll have to
Yeah.
take it out of the line or something.
Thank you, Alicia.
cool.
Thanks,
Yeah,
you guys.
thanks for being
Thanks.
here.
It was fun. It was
All right.
really fun.
Go pick up a wax buffalo candle or a lot of them, because I'm taking.
We hope you enjoyed that interview with Alicia Reisinger, the owner of Wax Buffalo. Now is our time to give a few things away to our listeners and watchers. We have 2 packages we're going to give away, 2 candle sets. The first one is Red Fern and Blood Orange. Here, what do you got over there, Allie?
I have Armitage Street, which if you caught that from the interview, was the street that she had a story about. So if you don't know what that is, again, check it out. And Rosemary Mint, which I don't know about Shima, but this one really smells like I need to get a massage. So if you feel like you need a massage and can't afford one, maybe you should win the candle and then just think you're there.
So how to enter, visit us on barnapkinbusiness.co, sign up for our email list, or visit us on Facebook under Bar Napkin Business.
Yep, also on Instagram, and if you give us a follow there, we'll follow you back, and let us know if there's any guest ideas that you have for us. We want to know small business, the ins and the outs, and some of the things that you're doing to grow. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys. You can come here and spike it on the
This is not
ground.
worth anything. Where did you order this from?
Amazon, I don't know. Today on the show, we have Elisa.
Cut. Redo.